Hi, welcome along to AFTV. It is back, the Premier League at last, man. These last 2 weeks have been long, trust me. The Premier League is back, and of course, on Saturday, 5:30 UK time, Arsenal take the trip down to Bournemouth, where it's another big game for the Gunners. Joining me, I've got Turkish and I've got Cecil, and we're looking forward to this one.
My intro, here we go. It's my time ready, so.
Gotta make your teas now, people.
For Arsenal, will we see Free by the Sea, or will it be Gunners' misery? We'll find out come Saturday, 7:30 p.m. All right, that was my reading. Enjoy that one?
Rob, what are you doing with this guy? Seriously.
People like the intro.
People
like it. They do. I get told a lot when I get. Sometimes I get stopped, and then obviously when we do fan cams,
Stopped by who?
Just people. They say keep the intros. You know, we enjoy them. They wait for them. So it's good, man. It's a nice little.
Police should be stopping us. Right, looking ahead to this week's game, we're going to be teaming up with FanTeam, Europe's biggest fantasy sports company. They've got an exclusive offer just for us. A single fantasy contest for the big Bournemouth game. All you have to do is pick 5 players for your chance to win part of the £1,300 prize pot. So click the link in the description or scan the QR code and enter. Stick around because I'm going to be revealing my team later on and show you how you can benefit every time Arsenal score with no deposit required. Remember, you must be over 18 and full terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. A big thank you going out to FanTeam for sponsoring this video. And later on, as I said, we'll be getting into a little bit more detail. But first of all, guys, we must discuss the big game this weekend. It's a 5:30 kickoff UK time at one of my favourite grounds to visit.
Agreed.
Love going to Bournemouth. Small ground, what was it, 11,000 capacity, around about that.
Yeah.
You only get, a limited amount of Arsenal fans, so we're lucky enough to have tickets, about 800 Arsenal fans, but always a great atmosphere. It's not the most hostile ground in the world, but, you're close to the players. You can almost reach out and touch them. And also, we've had a lot of success there in recent times, you know what I mean? But it's a great trip. Bournemouth's a lovely part of the UK. You've got the beach there you can go down. We always play them in the winter, but you have got the beach there that you can go to. But far more important than any beach or anything like that, this is a big game for Arsenal. We actually play before Man City, because they play on the Sunday. They got Man City at 2 o'clock kickoff. And then the big one for the weekend is Liverpool-Chelsea. So if we win this game, we'd actually go to the top of the league, probably temporarily, but it's one of those ones where go top of the league and put a little bit of pressure on the other two playing the next day. Big game for Arsenal, Turkish.
Yeah, big game. It's the first game back from international break, and it's the game before Liverpool next week. I know there's Shakhtar in between, but we're talking Premier League. We want to make sure we go into that Liverpool game either a point behind them, 2 points above them, or on the same, depending on what happens with them and Chelsea. We have to win this game. That is it. Yeah. Bournemouth this season, easy on the eye, I think. Maybe unlucky in a few games. But, they are where they are, and the reality is they don't pose much attacking threat. They've got Semenyo out there, and you look at Arsenal, we've started the season pretty strong. Yes, we've got one doubt in there we'll get into in terms of Saka, but regardless of Saka being there or not, regardless of who we start against Bournemouth, we must hit the ground running again. We've got another international break in 3-4 weeks, which is another hindrance. But the best possible way to lead into another big week, Shakhtar and then Liverpool, is to get 3 points against Bournemouth.
Yeah. we got. If you include the Southampton game, there's a run of games where you look on it and say, right, there are a couple of decent games. But then after that, the games get tougher. We've got Liverpool, we've got, Chelsea coming up. Some really, really tough games. It's very important that Arsenal win this game against Bournemouth.
100%. I think what Arteta's doing with the team, I think he's probably blocking out each international break with what they expect from the team. For example, this international break that's just happened, just make sure you don't lose a game. Stay unbeaten. We stayed unbeaten in the first international break period. Now the next one's until November. I think just the plan for them is just stay consistent, get as many wins under the belt as possible, and obviously do not lose the game. And I think I've seen that consistency from Arsenal. And this Bournemouth game, is a fan favourite of mine. I must say, you mentioned a lot of the things. This is my favourite away day, Rob. And there's some big stadiums we get to go to. Very lucky, very well lucky we are to go and watch Arsenal live. It's a privilege, but Bournemouth is my favourite. We normally go suns out. We normally batter them, and I don't want to be too arrogant, but if you actually even look at the stats, since they've been in the Premier League since 2022, we have an aggregate score of 13-2 goals in Arsenal's favour. So that's crazy. We always score 3 or more goals against them. I enjoy Bournemouth away.
But listen, as you just said, arrogance, cannot afford to get arrogant, because you know what? I remember the last game, a lot of us will go, I remember doing the Invincible podcast and you know, Lee and Julian, let's risk this, risk that, and risk this. And I go, yo, we need to win this game.
Yeah.
We're all about resting. And as it turned out, that was a very tough game for Arsenal. All right, you know what I mean? The scoreline maybe flattered us a bit to say 3-1, but it wasn't an easy game, right? And it just goes to show you that, you know, Bournemouth are better than Southampton. If you don't put your A game in on all of these games, you can be in trouble, especially away from home, because for every Bournemouth player, this is a huge scalp if they can take it. Even a draw.
Yeah, Bournemouth away is definitely harder than Southampton and Leicester at home. And both games threw up surprises in the second half. We wasn't sure of victory. 2-2 in one of them, 1-0 down in one of them. So when you look at it like that,
I kind of disagree with that.
Well, you think they're more difficult?
Yeah, I think Bournemouth away is. I think the home fixtures, because of our home form, we always tend to have banana skins at home. I feel like more when we're away, and there's a track record against Bournemouth that we are. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but we feel comfortable. I know I'm going to go.
Bournemouth, as you like Turkish said, Bournemouth are a better team than Leicester and a better team than Southampton. They've got better players. You've got your players, your Semenyas, your Kluivert. They've got a good team.
At Leicester, I think Leicester beat them just before international break, but Bournemouth should have taken something from that game. From what I saw. At the end of the day, any team in the Premier League, this is what makes the Premier League so great, can throw up surprises, can be a nuisance on the day. That's why we can't get too arrogant with Bournemouth. Cecil's right. I think last season we won 3-0 and 4-0. I think it's 4-0 there. So we can be confident going into it, but against two teams at home, regardless of form, at home against Leicester, Southampton, you look at that as an easier fixture than going Bournemouth away, who haven't started the season great either, but they're a team that are better than Leicester and Southampton, who've just come into the league. And they've got quality players. I just think a lot of their players haven't clicked this season. Like Evan Nilsson's come in.
Yeah, he hasn't been good.
I think he's only got a goal. He's got 1 goal. Kluivert hasn't been great this season.
His last goal was in the home game.
Yeah. Semenyo's the star of the show there at the moment. But, I still think, we should get the job done. But look at the last two. I said we should smoke Leicester and we should smoke Southampton. And you could argue we did 4 and 3 goals. But it wasn't ideal in the way that it turned out.
Yeah. I'm just... You're right. Then what you said, the teams that we played recently, you expect us to comfortably beat them. It was a bit of we were sat here watching it, stressing. But I don't know. I feel I like to believe in this team, believe in this Arsenal team. And I'm not saying none that you guys don't, because you clearly do. But I'm quite comfortable and confident to watch Arsenal play against Bournemouth. I mean, there's big moments. You always refer to Havertz getting his penalty from Martin Odegaard and us beating them. Yeah, like you said, 4-0 was at their place. We beat them, I think, 3-0 at home, and then it was a 3-2 one at home with the Reece Nelson last minute winner. That was a stressful one, but that was at home. And then we beat them 3-0 as well, I think, at their place as well. So I'm confident, and it's a big game. Every game in the Premier League is a big game because we're going for the title, and I'm looking forward to it. We're also going to be wearing our new third kit, which we haven't seen. We're debuting that there as well, which I only just found out just before we start recording, but that'd be interesting to see as well. We have some good moments.
I don't business about what kit we're wearing. All our business about is the result, and even a draw in these games is like a defeat because
we shouldn't be drawing.
Of what is at stake, right? And so Arsenal are really going to have to put in a real top performance in this game. And listen, there's a reason why we're confident, because the away record of Arsenal has been absolutely outstanding, right? So that is the reason why we're confident. But throws up a few little problems this week, because we are coming on the back of an international break, and during that international break we've picked up a couple of injuries to key players, right? One of them, Saka, who of course in the last game against Southampton, 2 goals and an assist and was absolutely outstanding, and the other one has been a player that's after a rocky start over the last few games has been really, really good, and that's Martinelli. We don't know if those two are going to be available for the game. Are you worried about that?
Saka more so than anyone, because I think that Saka's the closest thing we've got to a killer in the attack. And without Odegaard, losing Saka, when you look at who's not only just filled in the creativity department since Odegaard's been gone, because you can see in terms of chances created, big chances, assists, all of these things, Saka ranks highest or close to the highest. So not only has he further kicked on in Odegaard's absence in terms of productivity and or maybe not further kicked on, but hasn't shied away from his responsibility without having Odegaard there. I think losing Saka on top of it, it wouldn't be nice, because I look at Leicester, I look at Southampton, and I think those games really should have been gone before we even, look at a 1-0 down or 2-2. It should have been gone. I think losing Saka would be a massive hindrance. Obviously, then we look at Havertz as the main guy in the attack. And the Martinelli news ain't great either. I know Martinelli was on the bench.
Yeah.
In the second one, did he come off the bench?
No,
he didn't come off the bench. He just stayed on the bench. They didn't actually send him out early, so we don't know whether these are just precautionary measures or if those players are actually out. But if those two are out over the last couple of games, they've been very good.
Extremely important for us. Can I actually read? Just allow me to read our injury list currently, because for me it was damning when I saw it. Of course, we have a good enough squad, I believe, to cover it. But I was shocked, Rob, by how many names we got on here. So Zinchenko, obviously he's out, but
he could be
available. Yeah, they said he could be in contention for the squad pick on Saturday. Martin Odegaard, we know. They're saying his potential return date could be this weekend. It's not going to happen. I believe it's going to be either early November or mid-November.
You the coach, right?
No, I'm just giving from what I've heard.
Part of the medical stuff. You believe.
Listen, I've been very involved.
Get into mid-November.
Mid-November, I'd say is the time I'm looking at. Listen, I've been very involved in this because I've been doing a lot of previews and build up to this game.
Okay, all right, Dr. Cecil, you know what I mean?
We're going to carry on. Kai Havertz, the knee niggle.
So he didn't go away with Germany, but the expectations is that he will be all right.
Right, because of that, because him not going to Germany, they believe he'll be available. Ben White with an injury as well. He's not available. They're saying he was not going to be ready for this week's game, but he's soon to be back. But they think it might be too early for this week's game.
Who said that?
The reports I was reading this week.
Who are these people? I mean, all right, carry on.
All right, Urin Timber, who obviously had a slight injury as well, but they were saying that he is.
They throw it again. Vague. Who's vague? Who are they? Who are these people?
My special sources that.
All right.
We'll just see. Hopefully, I'm right this weekend. But
so Timber could be out. All right.
No, but Timber he had an injury. But they're saying
he didn't go away with the Dutch national team. But
they're saying he's more likely to be available for Saturday. Bukayo Saka, we know obviously that the injury, it was against Greece, wasn't it? He come off, and they didn't want to risk him. Lee Carsey actually wanted. He did the right thing. I was quite surprised to see an international man say, no, there's no point risking it. Go back to your club and rest. So Bukayo Saka, I don't know if he's going to be available. And Kieran Tierney with a hamstring injury. As well as Tomiyasu, obviously, he's got a prolong now on his injury. So he might be a setback. So that's a healthy long list. Healthy long list of injuries. But I still think we do
listen, how dare you come on here and try to scare people with all, right? Because you just named out that long list, right? Then out of that list, right, about not six,
they might be back.
A load of those players are going to be available. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Havertz, do you think Havertz will play?
Yeah, he will.
So why have you put him in that? There should be people, they're saying, these scaremongering people.
They want to update.
Most of these players are going to be available. Listen, and the one thing we've got to say with Arsenal is that they have coped brilliantly with the injuries, because I was pointing this out the other day to a Liverpool fan. I was saying, if you actually look right at the games we've negotiated with key players missing, like Odegaard, you know what I mean, we've done brilliantly. However, we don't want that to continue, and Saka's been very key. That could be a big miss. I mean, we're going to later on go into what we think maybe the starting 11 could be, and we're going to probably take into account the fact that there's some of these players could be out. But as I said, we've coped well with key. I mean, Ben White was an absolute fixture for Arsenal last season. Yeah. We've coped with him not missing most of these games.
I think you're spot on. And sorry, I'll let Turkish jump in a second. Also, so I missed Neto's not ineligible to play for this as well. Our number 2 goalkeeper.
He's added someone. He's got someone else in there as well.
It's a long list. But no, you're right, Rob. I think we've dealt with it really well. I think I've got to take my hat off to Mikel Arteta, because the time I realised we're really managing these players, and I have argued that Saka should be rested at times when, you know, there's little niggles and but you keep saying you have to play your best players. But when Timber felt something, I forgot what game it was, and Arteta didn't risk him. He said he took him off at half time and said, let's just rest him. I think Arteta's made a conscious effort to just say, if you feel anything, even if it's slight, let's not risk you. We've got enough players to rotate.
And that's why Saka might not play in it, because we've got that big game against Liverpool next week. You've got Shakhtar during it, but I think it's more even that Liverpool one. If there's any problems at all with that muscle injury, he's not going to play, is he?
Yeah, probably not. It's a risk, but you do want him to get some minutes before the Liverpool game as well. So we don't know how deep this injury is or could be. So if it was we're looking at the next 2 games and saying, all right, he's going to play 70 of one and start on the bench of the other, I'd say start Bournemouth, because Bournemouth game, you don't want to be dropping points in the Premier League. We know every single game matters in this league come game week 38. Champions League, I think you can afford a bit more rotation. Maybe you can put a Sterling in there ahead of him and give him that platform. But if there's any chance he can make Bournemouth, I would be starting him.
Hold on, I'm not letting Robbie get away with this. He's not getting away with this. I expect to see Bukayo Saka in your fan team picks. I expect to see Bukayo Saka in your predicted 11 for this Saturday. You say every game he must play. So I don't know what's going on here. So you don't think he's going to start, or you wouldn't play him?
Well, listen, if he is... So you see, you're jumping in. You don't always listen.
You've argued.
You need to listen. You need to listen to what I say, right? So what I've said, and I've argued this a lot on Invincible podcast. If Bukayo Saka is fit, remember that word. If he's fit, he plays every game for me. Your best players play every game. Ronaldo plays every game throughout his career. If he's fit, he plays. Salah, if he's fit, he plays. If Haaland's fit, he plays. When you've got your best player, I want to see my best player on the pitch. I wouldn't play him in a Carabao Cup game coming up against Preston, right? But every Premier League game, if Saka is fit, starts for me.
He's never 100% fit.
Because he's so important. He's so important to Arsenal's team, right? And I think that, you see that reoccurring around all the best players that play for their teams, right? Why are you resting them for? If we'd have rested him against Southampton, we may not have won that game.
Okay,
he was so pivotal in that game.
He was.
Two assists and a goal. And there was a lot of people suggesting before that game, it's only Southampton, rest him. Nah, your best player starts every Premier League game.
Okay, so you're Mikel Arteta. I'm the sports scientist. Hi, Mikel. We've assessed Bukayo. He's about 70%.
Then he's not fit. Then he's not fit. I've already answered that. If he's fit,
I don't think
if he's 70%, if he's in the so-called red zone and stuff like that, fair enough. And that's what they've got to consider this weekend, because it might be this weekend that he might be 70%. Then they've got a problem, because you've got to look at it and say to yourself, Liverpool next week. So do we, like what Turkish is saying, do we go with him with the 70% this week with the risk that he could miss next week? Or do we rest him? You know what I mean? Me, if he's fit, it's an absolute no-brainer. He starts this game. You maybe could say, right, give him a little relaxation against, and I'm not dissing Shakhtar now, but give him a little relaxation in that game, because we've got Liverpool at the weekend. But this game's important as well.
Okay.
Because if we lose this game, you know what I mean? Honestly, that's the pressure.
Just quick one. Okay, I'm Bukayo Saka. Come to you Friday morning, Gaffer. I'm 80% fit. I know we've got Liverpool tomorrow.
Then I've got something to seriously think about.
You're playing him.
But I said if he's fit.
Yeah, but that's Saka coming. That's different.
Yeah, if he's fit, but I'm going to listen to the medical guys. The medical guys say to me it's a big risk he could pull his hamstring in that game. Then I'm probably going to say, nah, we need him so badly for that Liverpool game. Let me, put either Sterling or Jesus in there. That's what I'll be considering. But if he's fit, Saka in every game in the Premier League. Simple as that. Now, I know that you have spoken to a Bournemouth fan.
Yeah.
It'd be great to get his take. Let's get his take on what's going on at Bournemouth.
Hello, everybody at Arsenal Fan TV. Matt here from Up the Cherries in all departments, and I'm sure everybody's looking forward to the Premier League coming back after the international break. This week, it's going to be a tricky game against you guys. Obviously, we know how you guys can punish us, how good you are going forward, the quality of player you've got. it's going to be a real difficult task for Bournemouth, not an impossible task. I don't think Arsenal have really hit the ground running as well as they could have done. You have conceded a few goals lately, which will give us a bit of confidence that we can put the ball in the net. Our danger men for this game is going to be the likes of Semenyo. He's obviously caused a lot of attention recently with his performances. And I'm sure all you guys are aware, of how tricky of a player he can be on that wing, how he likes to cut in, how he likes to tease the defender, and he's also a really good finisher as well. So in terms of our attack, he's going to be very, very key, alongside other players like Justin Kluivert, Marcus Tavernier, and then obviously on the bench we're going to have the likes of Lewis Sinistera. He's obviously a very dangerous, tricky player, and also Dongo Atara, who can come on and cause problems at times. In terms of our midfield, I think our midfield is going to be key to win the ball back from midfield. Lewis Cook is having a fantastic season so far. I think he's top of the stats in 50-50 duels this season. He's won 17 so far, and he's also high up in the charts with winning possession back in the final third of midfield as well. So he's going to be very, very key for us to win the ball back and get that ball onto the wings to try and punish Arsenal. In terms of our play, our approach, I don't think we will approach it any different. We might be a bit more cautious when Arsenal have the ball, but in terms of going forward, I think we're going to be just normal high press and be looking to get that ball into the box, or to create an option from just outside the box by cutting in and getting some shots on target, hopefully, is the plan, I'm sure. In terms of a score prediction, I think it's difficult for me to not back my side. You got to be realistic. Arsenal are a fantastic side. My heart is saying I think a 2-2 draw, but my football head is saying it's going to be a difficult game. In terms of where Bournemouth are going to finish this season, I think we're going to have a slight improvement on last year. At the start of the season, I predicted 10th, and I'm going to stick with that. Some people might think that's mad, but that's where I think at the moment we're going to finish. We're 7 points ahead on last season, where we were at this stage. So, yeah, I think steady, gradual improvement this season. Nothing crazy like getting into a European place. Like I'd really love that, but I don't think also would be a relegation candidate. So I think a 10th place finish will be a very, very good finish and a show of progression this season.
Very interesting. Thank you to Up the Cherries in all departments for that breakdown of Bournemouth. It's a massive game at the weekend. And jumping back into what I was talking about earlier about Fan Team, if you sign up to Fan Team by midday this Saturday, October the 19th, you'll get a free entry into the Arsenal versus Bournemouth contest. Plus, every goal that Arsenal score, Fan Team's throwing in another entry into future Arsenal contests. There's no deposit required there either. Right, guys, what we're going to do, we're having a little go at the Fan Team fantasy game, and we're going to pick 5 players. Now, you've got a £55 million. You know how fantasy works, and this is great. This is because it's a one-off fantasy. My problem I always have with a lot of fantasy games is that I just can't do it all. When you do it at the start of the season and keeping up with every week, and that I get busy, I forget. Same. But this one, you can do it on a week-to-week basis. You can do it on a game-to-game basis, and that's what's brilliant about it. Now, you've got a £55 million budget, right, which I gave to both of you before I didn't give it to you, Fanti. Before the game, to select your team.
Is Saka on your team? Is he fit?
5 players, right? I can reveal exclusively here that Saka is in my team.
Oh.
Yeah, £12.7 million. I've also got Havertz in there at 12.3 million. Mm-hmm. I've put Timber in my team. It's a bit of a risk, but I feel Timber is going to be fit for this game. 9.8 million. Trossard at 11.8 million. And then I've gone for one Bournemouth player because you can mix it up. You can, have a...
Traitor.
I put Semenyo in there.
Traitor.
I put Semenyo in there. Not necessarily going to score, but I think he's going to be the guy carrying their attacking threat. And you do sometimes get more points for attackers because obviously the more shots and that they have.
Oh, we didn't know that.
Well, you see, you should
We didn't know that.
study up when you're doing
We
these
didn't know
things, you
that.
know what I mean? But Semenya, £6.9 million. So those are my picks. Under the £55 million threshold. What are you going for, Turkish?
Yeah, I've got 3 players that you've got. So I've got Saka, Havertz, and Timber. I think that makes sense, considering price as well. I've added Rice in there.
Right.
Because I need a big game from him. I think a big game surely coming from him. He scored for England, so at least get a couple shots on target, Declan. And I've gone for Calafiori as my 5th pick because, unlike Robbie, when Semenyo cuts in, I want Calafiori to clamp him rather than him get any shots on target. So I've gone for Calafiori.
And unlike Robbie as well, I have gone with David Raya because I think Semenyo is going to come and maybe get some shots, but Raya in goal is going to save them. I've also gone with
You get more for attacking players. So Semenyo does have shots.
if he does, but
That'll be getting some more
I'm
points.
backing my Arsenal players, and I've
All right.
gone with a back two of Saliba and Gabriel as well to be solid defence. Of course, there is these shot statistics that can give you more points, but
Not going to get many shots, Saliba, is he?
he's going to keep a clean sheet. That's what I
Okay.
think's going to happen. And,
All right.
and Gabriel Magalhaes might score a little header. So
That's a
I'm
good pick, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
And then my 2 players in front of those, because they only get 5, is Rice, same reasons, kind of Turkish, and then Kai Havertz, who's been on tremendous form. And
So only
this is
one
what's-
forward player in your lineup.
Yeah, I didn't know the secret, but still.
He didn't
Good
know
luck
the
with that,
secret.
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, my days. All right. Right, so those are our teams. It's super easy for you guys to enter too. Play for your share of the £1,300 prize pot at no extra cost. And if you want to go all in and make a deposit, Fan Team will top it up with £10 in free fantasy entries. So even more chance to win while cheering on the boys. And remember, this is a gambling offer for 18 plus and terms do apply. Head over to the link and click it, or scan the QR code on the screen and sign up and claim your free entry and get more entries every time Arsenal scores. And to get attacking players, they're probably more likely to score.
Chill out. Yeah, we know that
David
now. We know
Raya.
that now. We didn't know that
And,
before.
you know, they're more likely to score
All right.
than Saliba.
Well, let's see.
Hopefully Saliba bangs in a hat-trick, yeah?
Or Semenyo.
No, we don't want Semenyo to
Yeah,
score.
exactly.
I don't want Semenyo to score.
Of course
but
you do.
I'm just like saying that he's probably going to, they'll probably have some shots.
Yeah.
And they're probably more likely to come from him. That's my logic on it.
You better hope. Well,
As long as none of them don't go in. Anyway, you know what we're going to do now, right? Talking of teams, right? Let's put together what we think the 11 could be.
yeah.
Right? In goal, obviously, is going to be Raya, unless there's some sort of injury, and let's hope there's not, because Neto couldn't step
play,
in.
yeah.
That means, we potentially have a kid in goal. So,
Yeah.
And you don't want that in a game like this. But Raya in goal, right? So right back.
Timber.
He's been
Not Ben White?
If Ben White's fit,
he's
yeah.
fit?
If Ben White's fit, Ben White.
Ben White if he's fit.
You're in Timber. And if Ben White's fit, am I going to go too soon, too early? I really am a fan of You're in Timber. I really am.
I'm a massive Ben White fan, but if you're in Timber's fit, I'd go Timber. And I'll put Ben White in on the Tuesday game against Shakhtar to start bringing him back. That's what I do, but
Fair.
want to hear from you guys as well what you do. Obviously, we're going to go Saliba Gabriel, yeah?
Yeah.
That's without
Yeah.
question. Left back's an interesting one because Zinchenko could actually be fit. If you went with Ben White at right back, you could then go with Timber on the left. That's another option. And then, of course, you've got Calafiori.
Yeah, your fan team pick, Turkish.
Timber.
Oh, swear.
Timber left
Didn't you
back.
put Calafiori?
You put Calafiori in
Yeah,
your...
because
in your...
Calafiori and Timber are going to start the game. Like, I'm pretty sure of that.
Good
If you're
recovery there, look at that.
this is my my take on it.
You got out of that tight pocket.
Yeah, this is
So
my take on it.
Timber, no Calafiori. Interesting.
Yeah, I just think I don't think Calafiori is I've been impressed by Calafiori, but I don't think he's a natural left back. I know Arteta's spoken recently about the whole left-footed left back thing, but at the same time he's also started right-footed at left back. So it's just convenience at the time and what makes sense. I think Semenyo cuts in a lot. Timber naturally right-footed, his stronger side. That's what Semenyo will be essentially cutting in on. I think he'll cut. And every time we see Timber one-on-one duels, he's winning them. Calafiori, a couple wingers this season have not given him a tough time because that's
tough
a false.
time against that winger against Southampton a couple of times.
Yeah, I won't even call it a tough time because there's one Savio moment and there's that What's his name?
Savino at Man City.
No, what's
and
the Southampton guy's name?
I forgot his name. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he had a couple
He did well,
moments.
yeah.
I think Semenyo's that kind of ilk of winger that could give him problems. So Timber left back, Ben White right back.
Okay.
yeah, I'd went Calafiori left back. Regardless, the Slovenian one does stick out to me. That's Man City. That
So
goal
who you
that
going
you
left
conceded.
back?
I'm going Calafiori.
All right. So in the midfield, just give us your midfield three.
Rice, Marino, and Trossard. Yeah.
Oh, so you're leaving out Partey.
Yeah, do you know what? He has the most, I saw this stat, the most pre-assists free. But yeah, I am, that means nothing right now because I want Rice and Mikel Marino in there and
Oh, so
Trossard.
you're just favoritism.
No, a little bit.
No,
but
because if you're producing a stat that's saying he's actually
he's got the
doing
most
well, but you want
pre-assists,
him
yeah.
left out.
Yeah, yeah, I think Rice goes in there. Rice is also my fan team.
So you just think it's time. You're just thinking time. Oh, it's just fantasy. Hey, look, he's put himself in this situation with his fan team.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Save party, man. Tuesday.
Partey, Rice, and Trossard. Yeah. If it was a home game, I'd start Marino, but I think because it's away, Partey, Rice.
I'm with Turkish on this. I'd go with that as well, and I'd put Marino in for the Shakhtar game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because obviously you want to bring Marino in, but I think Partey, past couple of games, I think he's been very good.
He has been good. But players do well. I don't know what it is at Bournemouth. The whole again, I just think about the Havertz thing, the Saliba scoring that screamer as well. Like, it's a nice place to. That's why they put the third kit. They introduce it in those sort of games.
Like you're taking it lightly, but you're talking
Mikel-
like that.
No, I know I am, but I'm a fan, bro. Like, I've got to be. I mean, yeah, I'm confident.
No, we're confident, but to me, I still would think Partey.
All right.
He's not been away on international duty as well. Moreno has played a couple
He had
of
an
games.
illness though, Partey.
Yeah, I think I'd go Partey, but you know, if Marino comes in, that'd still be great. But
Yeah, I think Marino comes in Shakhtar and then starts against Liverpool.
yeah, right up front.
I'll have it, yeah.
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 Well, the three up front.
Oh, the three up front. Havertz. Okay, so what are we saying here? Are we going that Saka's?
I want you to give me with Saka fit and give me right. I want you to give me two front threes. One without Saka and Martinelli, and one with both of them. If both of them are fit.
With them, I start them.
Both of them.
All right, so if both of them are
yeah.
fit, Saka, Havertz, Martinelli.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
If they're not fit,
If they're not fit,
Aish.
obviously Havertz still keeps his position up top. Sterling comes in on the left and Jesus comes in on the right. Or Nwaneri comes in on the right.
Nah.
would you if both of those were not fit? What about say maybe putting Trossard on the left, one of Sterling or Jesus on the right, and then playing Nwaneri in the midfield?
That sounds more appealing.
But then out if say you went with that, which one of those two right-sided, you know, whether Jesus or Sterling,
right.
who would get that?
Jesus goes right. Sterling will go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Left
prefer Jesus on the right to
Yeah,
Sterling.
same.
All right. So Jesus on the right, you both go Jesus on the right. So it's very. Listen, I think I know that if you know, apart from the midfield, well, the midfield and the back setup, but up front, I think if everyone's fit, we know what we think that front three will be. But it could be that those front three, you know, two of those front three are not fit. Or maybe they're not fully fit and are not completely risked for this game. But it's going to be interesting to see what that lineup is and to really get a view on who's fit and who's not.
He'll start strong and then rotate through.
Yeah.
I think Arteta's got a track record.
But the one good thing about this season is we know that Arsenal have got a good squad,
I
and
agree
the
with
players that have come in have all done very, very well. So it's going to be interesting to see what that starting lineup is. And of course, we'll be all over it here on AFTV. We're going to be at the game. Me and Cecil will be down there. You're going to be in the studio, of course, Turkish. And we'll be having a watch along, and we'll be doing that predicted 11. It's going to be really starting 11 show, should I say, is going to be really, really interesting to see what Mikel Arteta goes with. But there is no doubt this is an absolute must-win game. It's a game that we're expected to win. Can't take them lightly, but we've got a great record against Bournemouth away, and the expectations is that we're going to win it. And if we do win it, that puts a lot of pressure on City and also on Liverpool, who play the day after. Before we go, get predictions.
I
Cecil.
forgot. I was
get
about
your
to
predictions.
cuss him. Before you finished. I thought it was wrapping up. I want to see Free by the Sea. I've said it before, and we actually did that last time. I said that as a title for a road trip. So I expect 3-0. Also, unbeaten in the last 10.
No, we won 4-0 last time we played, mate.
Okay, 2 years ago, sorry, it was 3-0. But that's when I did the road trip. No, that's when I did the road trip 3 by the sea. But 3-0, and like I said, we're unbeaten in the last 10. We are. Can I just read this quickly? Arsenal unbeaten in all 10 of their games in all competitions so far this season. 7 wins, 3 draws. They last had a longer run, unbeaten run, from the start of the campaign in 2007, 2008. Do you know how long that run was?
It's great, but trust me, a draw would feel like a defeat this week, right? With the pressure that we're under to win these games, and stay, we've already had 2 draws. We can't really afford to draw this game at all. That would be like a defeat. But you're going 3-0.
3-0, and we was unbeaten for 21 games. That's mad in 2007, 2008.
3-1.
3-1? Oh, you
don't concede.
Semenyo's going to cut in and get to run. I'm going to say 3-1 just to...
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-0. I'll go 2-0 to Arsenal. I think we get the win. I think there'll be difficulties in the game, but like Cecil was saying, our away record has been brilliant, and I think the confidence of this team will get the job done, but it may be one of those ones where a few cobwebs have to be blown off after having a couple of weeks off. But we'll get the job done. I'm going 2-0. Give us your predictions in the comments below. We want to hear from you as well, as many as you as possible, what you think the lineup will be for that game coming up against Bournemouth. Could change a bit depending on injuries. So let us know what you think about it. And don't forget to subscribe here. And also, don't forget to check out all of our content around the game. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. It's a 5:30 p.m. kickoff UK time. So make sure you check it out. And also, don't forget to download Fan Team, the app. Get involved in the fantasy game. You can click the link in the description or scan the QR code right now. And remember, terms and conditions do apply. You do have to be over 18 to play. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we get a big win against Bournemouth.